So it is January 15th, January 15th, 2023. And I am on my way to the bank. And I'm on my way to the bank to make a withdrawal so that I can go make an offer on a car. It's a car that I've had my eye on for actually a couple years now. And I went and got some more details on it earlier last year in the summertime, around June or so. And, well, the internet has some part to do with this. I just look at pictures of it on my phone. I'm thinking like, checking the market on it, things like that. And of course, in doing that, with all of our activity being monitored, the internet, Facebook in particular, YouTube, start to show you more things relevant to whatever it is that you've been thinking about purchasing, because they've got it down like that. But all that to say that I feel like I've been getting, I've been kind of looking for signs, looking for an excuse to buy this car. And well, the world's giving them to me. Friends of mine are buying this car. The values of them aren't going down. Just thing after thing after thing after thing. Doug Camiro decides to review one, even though he's already done it. Decides to do another one. I get random ideas to Photoshop wheels onto it. And I was like, yeah, it's time. So I have an idea as far as what I want to spend. So I'm only going to get so much money out so that I don't overspend. Granted, I probably wouldn't be overspending anyway for what the car is worth. But I like to, keep it budget friendly when it comes to buying cars. I don't like to spend too much on it at all. Also related to this car and my decision to try and acquire it. Typically, I don't buy any car without having a plan for what I can do with it, what I will do with it, what I can afford to do with it, so on. And this has been true this might be number 50. It's either 49 or 50. I think it's 49. As far as how many cars I've had. And, well, like I said, I always have to have a plan going into it. And I don't think I've ever bought a car without having that plan. Anyway, that to say that I have thought about this for a good while, and I look at all of my resources that I have before buying a car. So I will, I'll go see, whatever vehicle, and then, kind of assess it and say, okay, like on my white E32 750, for example, I didn't even see that car, just seen pictures of it. I knew, okay, cool. It's got some rust on the bottom of the doors. What do I have E32 doors to pull from to solve that problem? Or if it has, it needs a taillight, or it needs a this or that, do I have those parts on hand, if not available to me, before I buy this car? Because if I don't, that will make it a lot more expensive. Now, with that, with this car, the same resources that I used to build BMWs, I will use to build this one. Like I said, when I go out and explore in general, which is how I found this car, I keep in mind, like I take a photograph in my mind of, okay, this car's here, he's got one of those over there, he's got one of these over there. Okay, if I'm thinking about buying this car, who else do I know from my other explorations, other junkyards, other whatever, who's got what? So like I'm looking at a car and I'm kind of analyzing, I'm like, all right, needs a door, needs a taillight, needs a this, needs a that. how can I solve these problems as quickly and cheaply as possible, or inexpensively as possible? What resources do I have that I can use to make this happen in an efficient way and in a profitable way, most importantly? So I knew off the rip, this car, I'm gonna need new wheels for it. The ones that are on it, just a hard no for me. I'm not fucking with it. It's not, it's kind of the vibe, but it's not. So I gotta get some stock wheels for it to start. Start with a good clean base. He told me mechanically that it needs a few items. He said that it starts fine when it's cold, but then once it gets heated up, it has some trouble starting back up. And he also said that it has a fuel leak. Now that is something else that I'm keeping in mind, particularly as I go to buy it, because I have to think about the logistics of getting it back to the house. Not far from the house, right down the street. But I'm looking at, all right, is this a fuel leak in the engine bay? Because if it is, I'm absolutely not driving this car. Granted, it's been sitting for 8 years. I really shouldn't, but I will because I'm crazy. If it's in the engine bay, that's a fire hazard. Can't do that. If it's somewhere else along the chassis, it's in the back, or whatever, like, that kind of changes things a little bit. We can safely, like, limp it home. I can have somebody follow me or whatever have you. But we'll see when I get there. That really, all of this is kind of teetering on whether or not I can even buy it for the price that I'm trying to buy it for. Whole bunch of shit. Whole bunch. Let's see if he's serious. Make a deal. There she is.
I was just bullshitting. And you know this, man.
A few moments later.
So this is my new, to me, 1992 Mercedes-Benz R129 500 SL. Car's been sitting here for about a decade or so. The plates show 2013 is when it was last registered. They've driven it a little bit here and there, kind of fiddled with it, but as far as actually driving consistently, they never did that during their tenure of owning the car. So I came and bought it. Like I said, it's got a few fuel issues. I'm gonna get it back home and clean it and see what happens. Brakes work. All right. So, as you can tell, I'm at my house. And I have a new toy. I was going to get footage of me getting the toy. Phone it just wasn't a good time. Anyway, check this out. I have an R129 500 SL. It's pretty bad. I did this last night while I was manually putting the top down, but I kind of expected it. As long as this thing sat, I kind of knew that some shit was coming if I moved it. So yeah, it all just disintegrated and so forth. And yes, it needs paint, obviously. But this is it. I have a Mercedes now. Technically, I have two. This car used to belong to a gentleman that was in a band with my grandfather, actually. I never got to meet my grandfather because he died before I was born. But I had heard many things, and I've met many people who knew him. And one of the biggest things that connects us is music, because he was a multi-instrumentalist, vocalist, a lot like myself. That's where I got it from. And this guy, I think he played either guitar. Yeah, I think he played guitar. He was a vocalist for the same band back in the day. So now, actually, I have kind of a piece of like my family's history ish, but I have a connection to my grandfather in a way. So that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, M113 V8, big honking boy. Bigger than, almost the same size as my V12 and bigger than that one for sure. This thing's huge. Car's been sitting since 2013, 2014, long time. So mice have been, they've made it a home. I don't think this car has the biodegradable harness on it. Not from what I was able to see. I think that was a little bit later in the 90s, but this is a 92. So it doesn't have that problem, but it does have just a lot of mess. When I buy cars that are cosmetically fucked, because that's what I do, is I cosmetically restore cars. A, B, C, I like doing that. I like painting, I like detailing. I understand there's going to be some mechanical stuff in this, but I mean, V12 swap, V8 swap, so fine. Yeah, I just wanted to get, not out of BMW, but kind of get into something new. Kind of switch things up this year. And I wanted a car that I can stop dailying that one. And I'm not going to daily the 540. So I got something that I can kind of, pitter-patter around with and learn stuff about a new brand. I don't think the value of these is decreasing at all. That's part of the reason I bought this one. And yeah, so here's a walk around. Is the new SL. There's no clear coat here. There's a little bit of clear coat there, but it's on the way out. There is some on there, none there, none there. Also, I'm 90s rich as hell. I got the SL, the 750, the 750, the 750. This is hilarious. Yeah, no paint there. I have to paint the car, obviously. These are the new insides. The car powers up with that battery in it. It turns over if you put it into neutral. So that's the neutral safety switch. We're going to have to address that. Top doesn't work. Like I said, I knew that this was going to happen when I put it down. I manually did it. So the car's been sitting, still for so long, a decade or so, that I knew that there were going to be some disagreements between, directions, and thus all of this happened. So this will be staying in the garage. But I mean, the leather is in decent shape. I can definitely work with that. That bolster over there might be an issue. That's our rear storage. I might either replace or re-adhere that carpet. Same thing with that down there, because it's kind of brown, supposed to be black. Got all this. I don't even know if I want to see what's under this. Not a lot. Not a lot. More of the same shit. Oh, the best part. This car has 92,000 miles on it. I know that doesn't mean much given that it's been sitting, but also it kind of does. I only have one more car that is of that kind of mileage, and that's the 540 that's in the garage. It's at 92,000 miles on it. So 91,000 miles on this, 92,000 miles on the 540, and this car is a 92. Like I said, M119 V8. So the guts are good. Like I said, one reason I like Mercedes, been pretty attracted to them lately, is because their interior quality is so good that a car can sit for a decade, and I'm pretty sure I can detail most of this away. Like, it's just solid materials, like the 140 obviously had $1 billion worth of engineering in it, and well, yeah, it shows 20, 30 years later. So yeah, this is my new SL. I'm gonna make something happen with it.
Add to you. I wasn't know. I deliver add to you. The glow. Add to you.
So this just happened. I gotta show y'all, see if it'll happen again. Look at it. Just casual. Am I disturbing you guys? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, there you go. Bruh. It was darker. Also, this interior came out really nicely. I'm gonna go over the doors a couple more times, like that door, I haven't done that one yet. But check it out, like carpet cleaned up. This carpet back here cleaned up. This is a nice place to be. For real. Carpet cleaned up really nicely. The dash is in great condition. I mean, that's another reason I bought this particular car, you know, or this model anyway, because everything in it was made so well that it can sit in the field for 10 years and clean up like this.